Hey there, I got a couple errands I have to do today. I know I don't want to leave my house, but I do need to go get chicken feed, so I'm going to go visit my friend Jeff, one of my favorite farmers. I've done some videos with him. Also got to swap out some parts at Lowe's for the projects at the farm. Try to be as safe as possible out there and get back home. So I'm not quite out of the neighborhood yet. I had to make a quick stop, and this family used to be customers of mine when I was delivering greens, and they reached out and said, hey, do you still selling any food, or do you guys have any vegetables? And it's like, no, we have some chicken still, and we do have a little bit of extra eggs. And they're like, we'll take them. So just had to drop off some eggs here, and it's just awesome that, you know, even when you have a few chickens, you can give them to your neighbors or sell them and make some people happy and get them some good healthy food. So awesome. All right, well, I just went to Lowe's and returned some parts that we don't need and got some other parts for the plumbing for the farm. This place is crazy right now. There are so many people here, and people are just not staying at home. I know they're bored and they want to get projects done, but you see people with kids here, babies. I saw people with dogs in Lowe's. I was just in and out trying to stay from everybody. Anyways, off to get the feed now. All right, well, I'm at Jeff's place right now, picking up feed. Haven't seen him in a while. It's good to see him. Get the stuff loaded up. Hey Jeff, thanks for the feed today. Sure. It's good to see you, man. It's been a while.
It has been.
And
good to see you.
Yeah, we're practicing our social distancing here.
We didn't even do the fist bump.
No, definitely not. Well, I really appreciate still like feed. I mean, chicken's got to eat, right?
That's right.
Yeah. And so how are things going this year for the farm? Like, I know you were telling me just a minute ago about plants that you're not be able to sell, and
yeah, we've had a small drop in sales on produce, but we don't have much to sell right now, so it's kind of hard to tell. I'm a little bit concerned about our spring and summer crops, because traditionally a lot of them have gone to wholesalers that supply food service and restaurants, and obviously that's going to be down. But I think they're trying to move that supply into the retail outlets, and so I'm cautiously optimistic that we'll be able to pick up sales for the produce and that. The feed sales have been strong this spring.
Yeah, I can see that.
So we're hopeful that that'll continue throughout. We're now ready to offer a full line of non-soy feeds through Country Farm and Home. So that'll be a great addition for people that look at that type of feed. And so far this year has been one of the best springs weather-wise.
It's been super warm, yeah.
Been warm, and we haven't had the torrential rain like we've had the last 3 or 4 springs.
It's been like even rains every once in a while.
Yeah, we got good soil moisture. We're going to start planting corn tomorrow.
Are you changing the crops you're growing this year based on?
Yeah, I mean we're cutting back on soybeans, because if anybody's paid any attention to the news, if they pay attention to agriculture commodity news, soybeans are not doing well.
But you were growing soy for the feed, right?
No, I mean somewhat.
Okay.
I mean I don't have the ability to process the soybeans, right. So we have typically been selling soybeans and buying soybean meal from a grower, still non-GMO. I would like to get to the point that I can process my own soybeans, but that's some fairly expensive equipment.
Okay.
And we don't have enough volume right now, but we're going to raise considerable amount more corn this year and other feed grains. Probably 2/3 of the corn we're going to raise is going to be open pollinated heirloom corns.
You guys are selling those to distilleries?
Well, distilleries. Yeah. We're also going to potentially offer a line of cornmeal.
Oh, cool.
I read some articles about one red corn in particular out of South Carolina called Jimmy Red, that is renowned for making a cornmeal that just has really good flavor, higher sweetness to make cornbread and hush puppies and so forth out of it.
Cool. What about the vegetables? Is that are you changing your crop plans?
A little bit. We're not going to do squash this year. We're adding slicing cucumbers, but we're probably planting more sweet corn than we've ever planted. Not probably, I know we are. We're adding bell peppers. We're going to try to raise the red bell peppers. And
you said that you have a bunch of kale that you just don't have a sales outlet for?
Yeah, I've got about an acre of the lacinato kale that we called up I forget what you call it. They come out and glean to give to food banks.
Cool, okay.
So they picked 40 boxes Saturday morning, and they're going to come back tomorrow or Tuesday potentially and pick some more. And so that's not, I mean, you don't like to have a loss of income in anything you're growing, but it's just the way it is right now. It's not not a huge loss for us.
Okay.
Certainly one thing we can handle.
I mean, one thing I've always admired about you and other farmers too is just like adapting, changing. Like you got to keep thinking ahead, right? You can't just do what you've been doing.
You know, agriculture has changed. That, you know, when I started farming, my intention was to be a commodity grower. I was going to grow corn and soybeans and wheat and whatever like that, and chase just regular grains. And the industry has changed so much. The profit margins in those traditional crops have become so small that people are having to raise just a lot of acres to try to cobble together enough income. And to do so, they're putting a lot of investment in equipment. And I'm not going to chase commodity prices. I'm not going to chase commodity acres. Between the feed and then the vegetables, we're looking for higher value and value-added crops to do that with, niche markets. We're in a part of the country that, if I had financial backing and a desire that I was going to farm 2,000 or 3,000 acres, just because I want to doesn't mean it's going to happen. You know, there isn't that much land available to begin with. You have to work within the constraints that you're given. And so, you know, 30 years ago, I thought I'd be content to ride a combine all fall harvesting corn and soybeans, and that's just not the situation we're in. So yes, if you want to be successful, particularly in agriculture now, it changes all the time. You know, I never thought that the dairy business would change like it has. When we were milking a couple hundred cows, that would be, in this day and time, a tiny operation, right, and completely inefficient and outmoded.
But it seems like your feed business is probably gonna increase.
We're hoping to continue.
It seems like more people are
yeah,
looking to raise animals themselves and,
yes,
and that sort of thing. So.
And I think people are looking for this type of feed because it's not only non-GMO, it's also whole grain. And while when we were in the dairy business, we fed a lot of byproduct feed. Right. But that was the cows. That was the ruminants that could process byproduct feeds better than monogastric species like poultry or swine. Now, I'm not saying feed that's whole grain is automatically better than feeds that the big companies put together that use a lot of byproduct feeds. But I do know that we've had customers who've talked about how their animals eat better and produce better off ours. And I'm sure that nutritionally, what the computer spits out, these other feeds look the same, but there's something inherently different there.
Well, I know my birds have done really well, and I've given you eggs, and you seem to like them.
Oh,
so.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, well, Jeff, thanks again for everything. Yes. I'll give you a virtual high five. All right, man, thanks so much.
Take care. Hope everybody stays safe
and
healthy.
Absolutely. Well, always good to see Jeff, and it's been a little while, so it's nice to catch up for a few minutes today, grab the feed from him, and I've done a bunch of videos with Jeff, and he's just got a ton of cool stuff to share, not just about farming, but life experience and just about GMOs and different things that he's done as a farmer over 30 years. So I'll leave links down below if you guys want to check that stuff out. And if you're interested in the feed that I get, I've had great experience with it, and I know there's a lot of good people involved that buy it through Country Farm and Home. I'll leave a link down below for that too. Anyways, very cool. Gonna head home, get the stuff unloaded. All right, I'm back home. It's about a 55 minute drive to Jeff's place. It's about a 45-minute drive to Country Farm and Home. It's a little bit cheaper if I pick it up from Jeff, so that's what I do, but gotta get this unloaded. So I spent a lot of time lugging large bags around, like 50-pound bags, 55-pound bags of grain as a brewer. You know, I spent 5-6 years as a professional brewer, and there was one brewery I worked at in this old building, and we had to carry up every bag of grain had to go up a flight of stairs, and I will never forget those couple years. You know, it was probably about 50 bags a week had to go up a flight of stairs by hand. Yeah, it was crazy. And also the first brewery job I ever had, I apprenticed under this guy, Tim. Awesome guy, even such an amazing brewer. And one thing, he was so particular about the way he stacked bags, and so now I take it very seriously. I like to have a nice stack. Just keep it nice and tidy. I think it's just important. It's good. It's good. It looks good. Anyways, got the bags all in here. Well, that's it for today, guys. Just remember the chicken still gotta eat, right? So glad to have gotten that feed. Probably last me 3 months, maybe a little bit more. They don't have that many chickens right now, so you know, you don't want to keep your feed for too long. It can go bad, but I think that's probably a good amount of time to have to go and get feed. And just really grateful that I have a source to get good feed and, you know, support good farmers and all that. But that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.